So Will Ospreay came out there to cut a promo with MJF, as you know, right now they're kind of feuding right now. And it's one of the biggest feuds in the company because it involves MJF. And I got two things from this. One is Ospreay's, again, just so good on the mic. We've been knowing this. We've seen it, but this week he proved it as well, because this might be like the longest time he was out there uninterrupted, no BS, no nothing. He had a genuine promo out there. Felt like a Raw segment to me, or like a WWE segment. Nowadays they're having these, long 20-minute promos as well. But yeah, Ospreay was very natural at it, and some good lines in there. And then MJF said some, couple of cocky words, and he basically challenged Ospreay for next week, Brian, and Ospreay accepted. That means we have Will Ospreay versus MJF, potentially the biggest match, one of the biggest at least, that AEW has happening next week on a normal Dynamite. How do you feel about this segment? And then how do you feel about that part at the end where they're gonna potentially blow off this huge match in a weekly show?
All right, so I 100% agree with you. I think Will Ospreay, winner. I like Will Ospreay. He's gotten very, very much over in the company. So big fan of his, and I genuinely think that that's probably WWE's biggest free agent miss in ages, if I'm being honest. So I just wanted to go on ahead and give him his flowers. Now AEW blowing this match off, it doesn't make sense to me from a business perspective. As a fan, I like it because this is something where I can kind of watch it for free at that point. I'm watching it on TV. It's a TV match. I don't got to pay $50 to watch it. But that's exactly the problem right there. MJF, Will Ospreay, that is 100% not even just a pay-per-view match. That is a all-in match. And they might run it back again at All In. Who knows? The feud probably won't end at that Dynamite, but it just doesn't make all the sense in the world to me, simply because it's being done on a weekly show. I just think that this match could have used even some more build before it went there. And Tony Khan, we know this brother has like just something for doing big matches on weekly shows. And I get it. It pops a rating. It gets more fans in the door. But just for that show, just like we see ratings now, and not to get into ratings, but we see ratings now and people say, oh, this is something that, that could potentially help them in the long run. I don't think that's the case, because ratings are still low now, and we've seen MJF versus Kenny Omega on TV. We've seen Danny O'Brien, or Bryan Danielson, versus Kenny Omega on TV, and it hasn't improved the ratings in the long run. So I think that they could have used more build. Nonetheless, it's going to be a hell of a match. Two amazing talent in an AEW ring. I just wish that the match could have been presented in a bigger light. That's all it is for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that, as you alluded, like, this feud isn't over next week. I'm hoping that this match doesn't happen next week. Even if it starts, even if we get all the way there, some BS happens, they end up brawling instead of actually having the match, and then you postpone this to Wembley, to wherever you can postpone it. Like, yeah, sometimes wrestling makes us wait way too long for a moment, and it's annoying. But I think this is like the opposite of that, where you're too quick. Like, I think all of us are completely okay with waiting for Ospreay and MJF to happen at a later date, at a bigger stage. Like, there's no problem with it. I think it has to do with something else you alluded to, which is AEW likes to do these crazy matches weekly. And yeah, I just don't understand it. Like, you got this gold mine on your hand. When that match happens, like, regardless of what you think, the second match, the third match, it's never going to be the same. You're only going to have MJF and Will Ospreay for the first time ever in AEW once. And I think you want to make that special for sure.
That's my whole thing. Because like you said, for the first time, you want to present it in the best possible light that you can. These are your two biggest stars. You got your biggest homegrown star, and you got your biggest free agency signing possibly, there's a lot of good wrestlers, but this is, in recent memory, this is your best one. You have your biggest face and your biggest heel. I just don't know if you blow that off on a random episode of Dynamite. I just don't know.
No, that's a good take, because those two, like you said, are the two biggest babyface and heel. Well, once they're done with each other, we're going to expect them to go for that world championship again, to be at that main event level that they deserve, to present and be the face of the company. So the longer you can keep these guys busy by any means necessary, you're going to have more time for our Swerve to go ahead and take that limelight, for Hangman to take that limelight, because once MJF is completely free, I mean, I feel like at some point he's going to have to go for that title just because of how good he is. And same with Ospreay.
That's the thing. And I mean, you look at, for example, at WWE, you look at a John Cena and Randy Orton. Never, ever, ever early in their careers would they blow that match off on a random episode of Raw or SmackDown. And I think that's where it comes in. I know we're in a different time, different era, different company at that, different management. But you also have to know that this is a potential all-in main event. This isn't just any match.
Yeah.
You can put this in an all-in main event and it's going to sell you tickets. That's just what it is. So when you look at this match being done on free TV, it's amazing for the fans. Do not get me wrong. I'm not hating on that. But when you see the business perspective and everything like that, I just don't know. Especially when you see All In, which has already sold 40,000 tickets, which is already a great accomplishment. But it's been stuck at 40K for a while now. You could have promoted a match like this at All In. That's just my take. And maybe, Kira, you're right. Maybe they go into a brawl and Will Ospreay says, you know what? F this. I will see you at All In. That's my personal wish, that something like that happens, where it's like, all right, this is what it is. I'll see you at All In. Fine. But even the thought of them sharing a ring in their ring gear right now, it's like, bro, you saved this.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like, keep the match as far away as you can, but they're both great on the microphone, amazing in the ring, two of the best. And so you can keep this feud going, by the way. Like, you don't have to just do one match and end it. These guys can go forever, probably. With, like, add some crazy not chamber match, but a steel cage match, some gimmick match, which I think that's what they're gonna do anyways. Hopefully. I mean, this is AEW. They do like to consume some of the wrestlers like fast food style and forget about him. But I think Tony so far has been consistent with Will Ospreay. MJF, he's been a little shaky. Fighting a guy in Forbidden Door that I can't, for the life of me, remember the name of. Like, that's your top star. What are you doing? But I think I have trust with this one when it comes to Tony. Hopefully, I don't get cooked for that. But yeah.
Nah, I think you're fine.